As much as I like that video, or else you wouldn't have just seen it, I spent over 30 years trying to convince people you can't just sit back and relax and let God do it. And we see a reminder, a lesson about that in today's scripture from Matthew. I'll be reading the words in yellow print, invite you to read aloud together, those in white. When Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowds followed him on foot from the towns.
When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick.
As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the village and buy themselves some food."
Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat."
"We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. Only. Here through Lent, we've been taking a look at some of those moments in the life of Jesus and how it might inform us. We've seen how the fisherman and the tax collector just rose from their other duties and immediately followed Jesus when they were called. And we considered that maybe it's not because the fisherman and the tax collector were such extraordinary people, but that Jesus was the extraordinary person, the one whose invitation was so compelling and whose person was so moving that they could not help but respond to him. We discussed how perhaps the whole purpose of our Christian goal, us as individuals and families and as congregation, is to very simply just follow Jesus. And yet, it is amazing how over 2,000 years, those people in the world who have committed to follow, they decided to follow Jesus, and yet the organized Christianity we've seen through the decades has often done exactly the opposite, gone in exactly the opposite direction than where Jesus seems to lead in the Gospels. Because we human beings are so easily twisted and distracted and confused. We receive the free grace of God and then we try to protect it from other people. We've seen how Jesus seems to be leading us, inviting us to follow on a very straightforward path. Find people who need help and help them. Somehow we complicated that. And when it reaches this next monumental opportunity in today's passage, the disciples naturally hesitate. At best, they hesitate. I consider Lent to be an incredible opportunity for each of us to explore the truth of ourselves, to find somehow the inspiration and the strength to be honest about ourselves, with ourselves. And it's amazing how difficult that is. In part because some of the ways that our brains simply prevent us front page of our April newsletter lists some of the dynamics that tend to happen among human beings. And one of those first dynamics is something we call denial. We talk about denial a lot, especially in times of grief, but denial is always with us. And the most extraordinary thing about denial is that we never know when we're in it. We absolutely never know when we're in denial. That's why it's called denial. The people who love us most and who are closest to us often are right in there with us. They may see something happening within us, but they can't really grasp it, and they stay in denial with us. If you ever wondered how you or someone you love ever got in so deep into trouble before they even started to climb out, you can thank denial for it. We just don't see it. We just can't believe it. But once we do start getting hints, that's when we start to repress our own truth. Because guess what? We don't want to really think about it. Think of times, maybe in your lives, maybe in loved ones' lives, when they were having symptoms that said, absolutely, you go to the doctor right now. Maybe, absolutely, you get to the emergency room right now. Let's just pretend about that's not happening, and let's just move on. Let's watch a ball game. Let's go out to eat. Let's pretend it doesn't exist. Let's keep ourselves so busy we can't think about it. Let's change the subject. Until finally, it's just too hard to pretend anymore. And to protect ourselves, we have to start rationalizing things. We have to start making excuses. The very first clear evidence that even we know that something is wrong. And so we start rationalizing, we make excuses. Oh, it's not as bad as this. Oh, it's not as awful as that. Well, it's only once in a while. Well, it's my life and I can do with it what I want. Well, it's my body and I can do with it what I want. I'm not really hurting anybody else. It's not that big a deal to go 35 in the 30 zone. It's not that big a deal to cheat just a little bit on the taxes. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Giving ourselves permission to keep engaging in self-destructive behavior. It doesn't just happen to people who are addicted. It happens to all of us. Excuses. But when we start hearing our own excuses, when we start hearing ourselves making those rationalizations, if we could just in those moments have that moment of clarity and say, uh-oh, I caught myself. There must be something I need to deal with that I've not been willing to deal with yet. I need to work on this. I need to face some facts. I probably need to talk to somebody. I need to get this taken care of. I think those are the mountaintop moments of Lent. When we stand up alone, Jesus transfigured, and we encounter God in a special way, and we realize, I've got some work to do on me. It's a lot more fun to spend our time working on someone else. I could just sit here and start rattling off all the things that's wrong with you. But Lent in particular is a good time to say, where do I need some work? What are the issues I'm avoiding? What are the possibilities that I'm ignoring? These disciples were no fools. Look at the size of this crowd. This is impossible for us to do anything about. We don't want a riot. We don't want a nice day to turn sour. Jesus, you ought to send these people out to get some food. From time to time, when we try to follow Jesus, when we try to listen, he becomes all too real for us. Those of you who like to read a lot, especially those who like either fiction or nonfiction novels, occasionally you come across a book where the descriptions are so vivid and the characters are so well developed that they just jump out of the page. You get engrossed in the book because this feels like a real person, a real adventure. Something happening here that just grabs our attention. As I read the Gospels, Jesus is the one that just jumps out of the pages, and his spirit just floods the place. And he jumps off of this page with those incredibly annoying words. Because Jesus can be annoying, not because he's wrong, but because he's right. You give them something to eat. We only have these loaves and fishes. We only have you ever said that? Oh, somebody said God maybe wants me to do something, but I only have so much time. I only have so much money. I only have so much education. I only have so much experience. I only, and right? There's always some truth to it. Yeah, you only. We dwell on what we can't do. We deem it impossible. And we sit back and relax and think, well, God will take care of that. It's such a challenge of Christian living. Sometimes it is appropriate to let God take care of things that are beyond us. But when things are put right in our lap, right in our hands, and sometimes he says, no, it's you. It's your family. It's your congregation. It's Central Christian Church. I didn't call you. I didn't ask you to follow me so that you could watch. I have plenty of watchers. You're my disciples. You're my right and my left hand. You're my heart and soul. You're here to do the work. Oh, but you don't understand. Jesus, God, you don't get it. We're only a shadow of the congregation we used to be. We're only a fragment of the numbers we used to enjoy. We're only got so much space, so much time, so much money. As if scriptures aren't clear that God will do the impossible. If we will do the possible. If we simply let go of worrying about what we can't do and what we don't have and what isn't available and what isn't true anymore. And we look at who we are and what we have and whose we are and what we can do. You give them something to eat. You help bring healing. You help restore faith. You help restore hope. You help the low in grace go that extra step. You do it. You can do it. You've got the capacity. You've purpose and what you can do. Jesus quit annoying us with that stuff. I've already put in my time. I already gave the office. I've already served. I think I'm retired. I think I've done all I can. I think I've given all I have. And he says, take another look. Be honest. You're gifted. You're precious. You're amazing. And God would know, because God created you. God walked with you every step of your life. God accompanied you through your biggest failures and your greatest victories, through the tragedies that almost destroyed you, and through those mountaintop moments when you could almost reach out and touch God. God knows how amazing you are, far better than you do. God knows your capacity, your giftedness, your potential. And God just invites you to believe right along with Him and do what you can. Let us pray. God, creator of the universe, most majestic of all, magnificent and wondrous. Oh, the joy we experience to think that you look down and see each of us and smile. You see each of us and have compassion upon us. You see each of us and see within us more than we can see ourselves. As much as any parent has loved any child, you love us more. And you only lead us toward fulfillment, toward wonder, toward the greatness of being yours. For all the ways in which you encourage us, oh God, we give you thanks. For all those ways that we have yet to see, we patiently wait for you to help us open our eyes. And for all those people around us who are still looking and waiting and wondering, we pray you teach us how to help them see, and help them hear, and help them know of the one who loves them. Help us follow you into service, O God, doing what we can. In Jesus' name.